The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I...
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. So I did a poll for everybody on my community tab. It's now just called the post tab, but it was originally the YouTube community tab, and I had 3 more videos that I know for sure are going to be done before the end of this month. One was about the new Adult Swim series called Oh My God Yes, and how I don't like it. The other one was about how we need to start gatekeeping blackness in fandom spaces. And then the other one, the one that got the most votes, the one that we are watching today, is about how the recession will affect fandom spaces. I'm actually not really surprised that this one got first place because the world has been very draining this year. I think we all can attest to that. It's part of the reason why it's been a minute since I've actually gotten cute since I got on camera. The nails are not done. I don't have like a cute little outfit on. I don't have a cosplay on. We're gonna get back together. I'll be cute in the next video. I mean, I'm cute regardless, but you know, like done up. I have made a list of things that I think might happen because of everything that has been going on with our economy and how this is going to be affecting people's money and income. Mind you, just keep in mind that these are just predictions. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything, but just paying attention to people's behavior within these spaces, I just kind of picked up on some things and I just want to talk about them. So yeah. If you guys see me looking down at something, it's because I'm reading off of my laptop. Sorry, but before we get started, speaking of fandom, I make a lot of content about fandom, and me and my close friend Amaya Janelle, we actually wrote 2 books on fandom. The first one is called Do Not Call Me Sis, which is a collection of essays about fandom, misogynoir, ableism, entertainment, and white feminism, because yes, all of these things have to do with fandom nonsense. And we ended up publishing a part 2 called You Still Cannot Call Me Sis, because we still have a lot to say. Both of these books are available for purchase on my website at harrianahook.com. You can get Do Not Call Me Sis in audiobook, digital copy, or physical copy like the one I have in my hand. At the moment, there's only digital copies and physical copies of You Still Cannot Call Me Sis. The audiobook will be done as soon as I can get it finished. Now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and continue on with today's video. Now, how will this recession? It's a recession. As much as people try to deny it, we're in one. We're in fucking one. Just go ahead and admit the shit. So I have some ways of how this is going to affect online fandom, but I also specifically more so want to talk about how this is going to affect in real life fandom spaces such as cosplay events, concerts, and conventions, because I feel like those are the main ones people are looking at when it comes in terms of spending money, because it costs significantly more to go out and do fandom things than it is to stay at home and engage with fandom. So let's get started. The first one I have is that people are going to be going more to local conventions. And what exactly do I mean when I say they're going to go to local conventions? They're going to go to conventions that they don't have to travel out of state for. And just because a convention is a big convention, it still may be local to the people that live there, because a lot of people know that I live in Atlanta, and because we have a lot of technically big conventions here like MomoCon, DragonCon, and Anime Week in Atlanta, those are technically local conventions to me because I am a local to this area. That being said, people will probably only go to a big con if it is local to them. And people tend to think that when they hear the word local, it automatically means small con, and no, that's not always the case. A lot of local conventions for people, because not everyone lives in a big city or in a city that likes to host a lot of conventions, even though it is technically a big city. They don't always get like the bigger stuff. The next point I want to make is that people are going to start volunteering more to go to conventions. A lot of people don't seem to understand is that if you volunteer for a con, meaning that if you give some of your time to helping out with the convention, that means you get into the con for free. And they have numerous things that you can sign up for when it comes to volunteering. You can help with tickets, you can help with autographs, you can help moderate panels. There's so many things that you can do to volunteer at a convention. I know I have a friend, her name's Kayla. She helps like with Comic-Con in Alabama. She helps with the disability resources department over there. Like, there's so many different things that you can do for volunteering. You have to put in a certain amount of hours though in order to get into the con for free. Once you do what you have to do, you're usually free to roam around. You usually can cosplay if you volunteer. I really do recommend people volunteer for conventions if you can't afford to go to them. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of lobby conning, mainly because I feel like that really affects the flow of things within the convention space, specifically in the lobby area, because the lobby is the area that I tend to avoid the most when it comes to cons, because that is where the most people are, and that's because the people who did not buy a ticket are usually up in there. They are usually part of the reason why we be having to have the fire marshal called on us, because it is just too many people in that portion of the building. So yeah, like y'all, if you want to get into a con for free, consider volunteering. I know a lot of my peers that are in the con community and they go to different cons in different areas. Usually if they're traveling out of state for a con, sometimes that they will volunteer in order to get into the con for free. I know sometimes with volunteering, not only do you get it for free, but sometimes they do pay for like your hotel room. They do pay for your food. They do have snacks and water and things to like help you and take care of you throughout the weekend. But yeah, so consider volunteering if paying for like a badge is going to be something that is a bit pricey. Okay, this is the next point I need, but people are going to be going to more smaller conventions, okay? Like, if people are going to be traveling for cons, they may be traveling to go to a smaller con, or they might be traveling to go to smaller, numerous cons. And the reason I'm saying that is because smaller cons usually cost less. Usually a lot of it has to do with location, but a lot of it does have to do with popularity just as well. There are going to be some cons that people usually don't tend to go to because they're not a clout chasey type convention. There are going to be more and more people showing up to those. Like, let me tell you something. I actually have a story. There is a convention that I've been going to for the last few years called RecCon, and it is at Georgia Tech. It is a university here in the Atlanta area, and it is a con ran by the college students. Oh my gosh, I've been to RecCon for a few times throughout the years, and this past year was the most packed that it has been. And part of that may have to do with the fact that RecCon is free to get in, but also it is getting a bit more popular, but it's free. You don't have to pay to get in at all. And on top of the fact that it is a free convention, there are free things to do when you get in there, especially panels. I also think people are going to be going more to panels when they go to conventions. I think they're actually going to be doing the things that are air quote free at the con. And when I say free, it's stuff that you pay for. It's included in the badge. I think people are actually going to start using the badge to their benefit. Like, go to the game room. The game room is free if you have a badge. Come on. Y'all, I think I want to make a video talking about how not to spend money at a convention, because a lot of people think that the only thing to do at a con is stuff require spending money. No, there's so much other shit to do. But yeah, people are just going to be going to smaller cons because they cost little to no money to get into. But yeah, like I said, the smaller cons are going to have more attendance because of the low to no cost to get into them. Because that parking garage, listen, my friend who's also my photographer named Sake, I sent him the address to the parking garage that I usually park in. When I got there like early, not early in the morning, but like later to the afternoon. I had to park on the top, and y'all know that is when a deck is full. He told me that he had to go park in another parking deck because that one was full when he got there. I was like, that has never happened for Redcon. Okay. So when it comes to money and people's spending habits or what they choose to spend their money with, they're going to be very picky when it comes to that. People are not going to be balling big bucks on pretty much everything that they see in the exhibit hall, in the dealers den, and in the artist alley. People are going to be a bit more wise, I'd say, when it comes to what they want to buy. Let's say if somebody decides to spend like $20 on a print, that might be the only thing that they buy for that day. But then another person might spend money on $20 worth of stickers. I also think stickers are usually always a big thing when it comes to conventions in the artist alley because it's usually the most affordable thing that a lot of artists sell. I think more artists are going to be carrying more stickers with them because they know that that is something that people are going to buy from them more. Because a lot of people want to support artists because art should not be free. I think artists need to be paid for their work, but oftentimes they can't necessarily spend a ton of money on every vendor that's there. So they will literally be like, okay, I'll spend $5 on a sticker at this booth. I'll spend $5 on a sticker at that booth because I do want artists to be paid for their work and I do like the artwork. Also, be considerate that some artists are going to raise their prices of their art pieces, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're gonna raise their prices by a lot. It might just be like $1 to $2 to $3 with the stuff that they increase with. But also talking about like people being picky with what they spend their money on, I have talked about this in my long ass video talking about like party culture and the cosplay and con community. I don't think people are going to be partying as much as they usually do, or they're going to be very picky when it comes to the parties that they choose to go to, because a lot of these parties be costing damn near $30 to $40 to get into. And then on top of that, you know what happens when people want to go to a party? They want to drink. Drinks are fucking expensive. Drinks cost so damn much, y'all. I did not realize that. And by the way, I don't drink. So when I actually found out the price of alcohol at a lot of these places, I was like, they scamming y'all asses. Mind you, I haven't drank since I was like 21. And that is like part of the reason why I just chose not to do it, because I was like, why does this shit cost so much? But yeah, it's just like, before you know it, you spend $20 at the party. Like, I don't think a lot of people are gonna want to spend that much money anymore when it comes to that. But also, I don't think a lot of people are gonna spend their entire weekend partying at all, specifically like parties that you have to pay to get into, because money ain't that lucrative for a lot of us right now in this community. I think there is going to be more like hotel room parties or like Airbnb type parties. Usually you don't have to pay to get into those. Those usually depend on who you know to get into those spaces. But yeah, like those pay to get in parties, whew, y'all gonna see a decline. Y'all might see a decline, or people might actually just not buy drinks when they go to the party either. They'll probably just drink before they get there or go to the bar down the street. Listen, Atlanta got a liquor store around every corner. Like, also another thing that has to do with spending money at conventions during the weekend, more people are going to be spending with cash. And this is actually something that I do, mainly because I don't want to overspend when it comes to the artist alley. Because one thing about me is that I am an art hoe. I am an art hoe, okay? Everybody knows that I love art. I am an art lover, and every time I go to a convention, I'm gonna be in there buying some damn art, okay? So I have to control my spending when I go to conventions. I would make sure I get bills. So if I spend the bills that weekend, that's done. I ain't buying nothing else from the artist alley. I know a lot of other people tend to do this. Her name is Ezra Faye. I really like her videos. She makes a lot of videos talking about the con community and the cosplay community. I will have her channel linked down below. But she had even mentioned something talking about it is easier to manage your spending habits when you actually have the money and bills. Okay, so the next point I have is that a lot of people are not really going to be buying as many already made cosplays, or some people are just going to stop buying them completely. And my major thing about this is that y'all don't need to be buying a whole bunch of ready-made cosplays anyway, in my opinion, because these people be scamming y'all. These little cosplay companies, they be scamming the fuck out of y'all, okay? They be charging y'all $100, damn near $200 for a cosplay that you could probably only wear twice, and it probably ripped the first time you put this shit on. Yeah, they are very much overpriced and cheaply made. But yeah, people are not going to be spending that much money on cosplays, but I think people are going to be finding more alternative ways to cosplay. And this is the thing that I always encourage people to do when it comes to cosplay: thrift. Please go thrifting. I thrift a lot of my costumes pieces before I put them together and all of that. When I did my Love and Deep Space cosplay, the only thing that pretty much everything that I had for that outfit was thrifted, with the exception of the vest that my good friend made for me, and like plenty of other things that I have. A lot of the pieces that I have are very much thrifted because I do plan on doing the Twilight Sparkle cosplay, and so far most of the costume is thrifted at the moment, with the exception of me dyeing and painting the costume. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show y'all what it looked like. But it's very much like most of the pieces are thrifted. And then the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to in-person events and fandom, we are going to see an interesting change when it comes to concerts, because I know a lot of people were talking about how they're not going on the Cowboy Carter tour because they can simply not afford the tickets. People are either going to be saving up money for like one big concert like the Beyonce concert, or people are just not gonna go to concerts at all, specifically those people who like artists that usually are bigger and they're going to event, like, you know, just cost more to see them. So some people are just not going to go to concerts at all, or they're simply just going to go to smaller concerts because the smaller concerts have cheaper tickets. Or people are still going to go to concerts, I think, but they might be more of the underground music scene, I'd say. But yeah, a lot of people are not going to be going to big ass concerts. At least not going to big ass concerts as much as they do. And if they are going to be going to these concerts, they're probably going to be buying seats that are more further in the back, not usually closer to the front, you know, the better seats, not even like the stage or anything like that. It's going to be very interesting to see how this affects the concert scene. Mind you, I'm not in the concert scene. If anybody used to watch my channel when I was like in high school and like my early college days, y'all know I used to go to concerts. It's not my thing no more. I've outgrown that stage of my life. Okay, now moving forward from the in-person activities of how the recession is going to affect fandom, let's talk about how fandom is going to just affect our day-to-day lives and us just being at home. There's going to be a resurgence of series that are free to watch to people. And I mean free to watch as in they have actual access to watching them. So I think series that are on Tubi are going to increase in popularity. And if you don't know what Tubi is, it is a free streaming service. The reason it's free is because they throw like 50-11 ads on the shows and movies. And I'm not going to be surprised if there's going to be another indie animated series that gets extremely popular, like The Amazing Digital Circus, because part of the reason why The Amazing Digital Circus is so damn big and popular is because it's free to watch, along with Hell of a Boss. I don't even like that damn show, but it's super duper popular because it is free to watch. It's very accessible. But yeah, like the more accessible the show is, I do think that there may be a resurgence of the fandom, or the show just comes out free to watch at the beginning. There will be a big fandom of it, mainly because everybody can look at it. I don't know what to say about subscription services in this. I kind of have like nothing to say about that because I was like, are people gonna still be having them? I don't know. Honestly, the subscription service conversation pisses me off. That's why I just decided to leave it out of here. But moving forward, I do think there is going to be increased gaming, and that has to do with the fact that you don't have to leave the house to game. You don't have to leave the house to game. I actually have started gaming this year, more so last year, because one of my friends, she had showed me Love and Deep Space over the summer when I had took her to this event with me, and I really really did enjoy the game, but that really got me interested in other like visual novels and dating sims. And that is just like a fun little hobby that I have picked up, and I don't have to leave my house to do it. People are going to be finding more activities for them to do at home. So I do think more people are going to get interested in gaming, or people are going to like find more games that they never played before. They might actually end up liking them. But also when it comes to increased gaming, the free games might become more popular than they already are. The free games, or the games that don't necessarily cost too much to buy, and when I say cost too much, I'm saying they cost no more than like $15 to $20, because games can get expensive. But yeah, like people are just going to be finding more and more things to do at the house, and that is one of them. Because even though, and what I mean by that is, if you have like a good functioning computer and a controller, you pretty much have a console, you can pretty much game. I know a lot of people already have a Switch and they can just use that, but like, listen, this is not coming from somebody that has an Xbox or a PS5 or none of that shit. I don't have anything like that, so I'm not saying that people are gonna go out and buy like a full-on console so they can start gaming. I'm just saying that people that already do have a gaming console, or they have a good PC and they just end up getting a controller, because a controller usually costs like $20 to $30. That might be something that they pick up because they just already have the sources at home to just engage with this. You spend like $20 on a game just one time, and then that's pretty much it, along with the expansions that come on as time passes. But like going out, you're gonna spend like $20 every single time you go out. You get what I'm saying? That's why I think more people are gonna be gaming more. Okay, the next one I have is that I think people are gonna read more. I want this to actually be a prediction that comes true, because y'all need to read. Y'all need to fucking read. Y'all need to read. Read. Y'all need to read. Read, please. Please. Read a damn book. Please read. I need people to read, because y'all know we are in an age of anti-intellectualism and people within fandom spaces, and I know because, whew, please read. Please read, y'all. Please. I think there is going to be an increase of reading, even though there are things going on with the public library that is going on that makes me really sad. I do think people are going to be using the library more for resources. But yes, I think people are going to be reading books more. And like I said, you can read a book at home. You can read the book at a park, because you can go to the park for free. You can go to a cafe sometimes for free if they're nice enough to let you sit in there, and you'll probably buy a snack or something or whatever. People that already haven't really jumped on the reading bandwagon, because you know reading is technically like a trend now, I think more people might get onto it, because you'll spend about like, let's say $20 on this book, and you'll be reading that book for about like a week or 2 or 3 or whatever. Or if you have Kindle Unlimited, you pay like a monthly subscription, and then you have access to all of these books that come in with that subscription. Or use your local library. Use the damn library. I think people are going to read more, mainly because it is just something that they can do that doesn't necessarily cost them as much money. Okay, this is just the last point that I have regarding like at-home activities and fandom. We're going to see more of the 2 main fandom hobbies increase, and people are going to be, one, drawing more fan art. Fan art's never going anywhere. There's never going to be a low stock of fan art for pretty much anything. But we might start seeing more fan art for more lesser known and less popular or more obscure things. But then also writing fan fiction. I think people are going to be writing fan fiction more because they have more time at home, because they're not going to be going out as much to save money. People are going to probably be practicing drawing and practicing their writing skills, because yeah, they're at home chilling. It's free. They can do that. But also, I'm gonna be honest, I have another little fandom prediction that I think that's gonna happen. I think there's going to be another big crack shipping phenomenon. I think there's going to be another one. I think there's going to be another one. People gonna be so damn bored at home because they not going out much, because they're saving money. I think there's going to be another crack shipping phenomenon. I can see it happening. I can see it. That's pretty much it for today's video. Those are all the little predictions that I have. Which one do you think is most likely to come true? I'm genuinely curious to know what your thoughts and opinion on this video was. But also, I do hope that when it comes to like the subject of money and me talking about conventions in the more first half of this video, that some of those tips were helpful to you guys. I really do hope I help somebody out with that, because y'all know on this channel I always be wanting y'all to learn something from me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a great day. Oh, I forgot to thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, night, whatever time of day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.